All right, Billy Corben.
Coming in hot.
The director of Cocaine Cowboys. What is the new? Give us the new, and we're going to get into everything.
Go right into it.
No, we're not going to go right into it. I want to go into other stuff before that. But go ahead, Billy.
What? Go ahead.
Hey, Billy, just go.
Yeah,
just go. And
We've only done 6,000 podcasts.
Breaks into a song.
Hey, go, bitch.
I'm going to do my Torah portion for my bar mitzvah. What am I going to go and do?
Like it's Jimmy Fallon.
Well, we got
time.
Be funny.
We were actually just talking. We were talking about James Woods and how it's not okay to like James Woods on Twitter anymore.
Well, we're talking about because of Jussie Smollett, who obviously the news came out.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Is it Smollett?
Where's the accent?
First of all, I want to start this podcast by saying this. I'm just so grateful that Jussie has been exonerated.
I'm glad justice has been served.
And that's what I was going to say.
And finally, a black man didn't get screwed over by our justice system.
And
it's about goddamn time.
Because because Chicago politics is not at all corrupt.
Some say it's the most
Billy,
corrupt
you're
town
a fucking liberal, so I want to hear what you have to say, you fucking lefty.
Yeah, because Miami has no issues.
This is what my Twitter feed looks like after I'm on Rogan's show.
Yeah, right?
It's just, you fucking libtard, cook, snowflake, homo. It's like, thanks for listeling.
Yeah. Thanks for
Glad
the
you like the podcast.
Thanks for the views.
Christopher Hitchens, one time, this woman goes, "You're obviously a liberal." And he said, well, I take great offense to that because I'm actually a socialist and we consider liberals to be dangerous compromisers.
You got these. The only thing missing from that impersonation, I wouldn't know how you do it, is the ice from the whiskey. Like,
my God,
just the ice moving around in the glass. Yeah. I miss Hitchens.
I do too.
Like his voice right now in this world is like desperately needed.
Yes, but what did you liberal son of a bitch? You cheered when he was exonerated.
I don't know what happened. First of all, I don't believe that he was exonerated any more than the president was just exonerated, okay, by his own attorney general. So I don't. It seems like they struck some kind of plea deal.
Well, did you see the governor of Chicago came out, the chief of police came out,
the mayor, and
the mayor, and was like, "This is not justice was not served.
Yeah.
It was over their head."
I don't care what Rahm Emanuel. What did Ari Emanuel have to say about it? That's what I want to know.
You know, Rahm Emanuel, Ari Emanuel, who owns WME.
Yeah.
That's his brother.
Oh wow,
that's successful family.
Couple ball busters.
Yeah. And Rahm Emanuel.
Great time to hang out.
To be a white man in America.
Oh my God,
it's a great time.
Well, they're both Jewish, so let's not conflate white and Jewish.
Speaking of what time, I got my Zionist conspiracy meeting I got to get to. Hard out here.
But I think James, you have the picture, Chin, because James Wood posted. I don't know what he said on it, but he posted a picture of Jussie Smollett with Obama's because they said Michelle Obama, because that's why it's above even the Chicago police, because it went above their head. So Michelle Obama called in a favor, and Jesse Jackson. I didn't realize how powerful. He was?
So Michelle Obama's former aide. There is a whole text chain, an email chain, I guess, to the assistant to the DA, apparently, or something. And some of it I read.
I don't know.
You can play this article.
But nobody would have thought they could get away with that. This was such a high-profile case that everybody is talking about. Oh, there's a score.
Yeah. Of course, began as
picture of them with the Obamas.
Yeah. You can just go to Twitter and type in James Wood.
James Wood. Yeah, I was saying that. Like, I feel like. I tweeted something about the movie The Specialist. I don't know if you remember this terrible movie from '94.
With Sylvester Stallone
and Sharon Stone. I mean, come on.
You don't like it?
It's terrible. No, I love it because it's like one of these horrible '90s Miami movies. It was shot all in Miami when Stallone had a house down there, and I posted like some funny scenes from it, including this. James Woods is really hilariously brilliant in it.
Oh, that's right.
Because he's the only one who knows it's a comedy. Like, he's the only one who was let in on the fact that the movie was a piece of shit.
Great actor.
He's so good in it and so funny. And then people started, and then I realized, like, James Woods now is kind of like at this moment in his career where, like, you know, Michael Jackson is and like Bill Cosby are. Like,
where we just forget
people
all
came
the
down
stuff
on
he did.
Well, yeah, people came down on me for like, this guy's a lunatic. What are you doing? Why are you celebrating this man? I'm like, I'm not celebrating. I posted a clip.
But he's a
from
different type of lunatic. Like, he's not like a dangerous.
He's just conservative,
right? He's just crazy.
Yeah, he's just crazy.
He's just crazy.
Well, is he crazy or is he just Is he just conservative?
He's crazy.
He's crazy.
Yeah,
have you
he
seen
is?
his? Yeah,
No, I haven't seen
Have you
his
seen an interview
tweets.
in the last 10 years, B?
No, I've not.
No,
I know.
but I don't know. Yeah, but it's not like he's hurt people like Jackson
Yeah.
or fucking.
No.
But people are treating it like he's over. It's over. You can't like him anymore. You can't like his work
right,
anymore.
I
And
see.
I don't really know.
No, I think he's a great actor.
Yeah, and I suspect, by the way, he was always crazy. And like
think?
now it's just, I think we get older, we become magnified, horrible versions of ourselves.
or something
That's-
happens.
Part of his talent,
right.
talent
Like,
part of
Was
his
there an
talent.
accident or something?
Part of his
Like
talent.
some guys get hit in the head or something, like fall on the bike and
No,
then they're
concussion.
batshit
CTE.
crazy.
It's CTE.
Tell me about
James
it.
Woods got CTE.
No, I think what happened was
Maybe.
he's always been a really intense actor and a really kind of. If you ever listen, like his movies are amazing because he's
so good.
able to access that emotion. So he was obviously a very emotional guy, and I think he got caught up in this right-left thing and saw the left as taking over the country, and probably suffers from that kind of paranoia where he's like, I got to wage a one-man fight here. That's what it feels like.
You're also just crazy. Like if you fall into
don't
that
know.
so deep, you crazy, bro.
Yeah.
If that consumes your life,
Well, let me see. He got blackballed in Hollywood, apparently. I don't know.
He claims because of his politics, which is not an illegitimate.
No, he's a
thing.
great
I mean,
actor, so
that
he
can
could have been
happen.
difficult to work with. He could have been crazy on
seems
set.
like a joy,
Or director's
really.
like, you know what? I'm all set.
Seems like
I
he
never
seems
heard he was
delightful.
difficult, actually, to work
No,
with.
I never heard.
Yeah.
that.
I don't know.
There was never that rumor. He was always a guy you wanted in your movies.
Well, apparently
Legit movie
not.
Star. Yeah.
Apparently not. B.
Where's the tweet, though?
Be
Where's
in
the
that-
tweet?
You mean
Did
that
he
Tim
take it
Allen
down?
sitcom?
Oh, there he is. What's in your wallet?
Just
Race
got the
car?
picture from our boy.
What's
here.
in your? Oh, I see. Hashtag.
Did he have to take it down or something?
Oh,
there it
no,
is.
that was it.
Go back it.
It was. It's yeah. Hashtag Jussie Smollett. Michelle Obama holding the race car.
No, there's an actual picture that he sent me right now too.
Yeah, there's an actual picture that he posted. Why is it not coming up? Did you do it?
but
Is it that
what's-
one?
Well,
he-
yeah. Questions.
Questions. Here's your answer. It's just Jussie Smollett with the Obamas. I guess
That's
there's
it?
some crazy ties with him and the Obamas.
Well, that's not so fair because at the end of the day, the guy is he's talented. He's probably really fun. She didn't know. And a lot of celebrities spend time with the Obamas, right?
And there's the
So-
Chicago.
so
You don't know
connection.
you're dealing with
There's
a
a
fucking
Chicago connection.
You don't
too.
know, yeah,
There's a
and
Chicago
You don't know
connection.
you're dealing with a fucking.
But I wouldn't call Jussie
Maniac.
Smollett a celebrity. It's not like you can call up the White House and be like, yo, and they're like, Jussie Smollett from Empire?
Yeah.
Come on down. Say no more.
They might have
friend."
liked
It's
the
not like
show.
he's Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, but they might have liked the show. Also, with those shows, sometimes they stage these things where you go to the White House, you meet everybody. So those pictures don't say anything. Is what I'm trying to say. Those are essentially, and that's an award ceremony or something where he was a singer. I don't fucking know.
Well, they're at events. not like
but
a dinner.
Jussie Smollett's family worked for them, right? In Chicago? There's a ton of ties.
There's a lot of ties.
There's a ton of
Yes.
ties.
Which,
Where
by
it's
the
not
way-
like they invited the Empire staff just because their ratings were killing on
No,
Fox.
they're ties.
Yes.
No, there are deep ties
Yeah, you
between
gotta look
Jussie
into it, dude.
Smollett.
Yeah,
no,
it's super
I'm not
interweaved.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that this wasn't corruption at the worst level,
At the highest level,
because I
yeah.
believe, according to what I have seen, that Michelle Obama did get her aide to intervene and
called in a
somehow
favor.
she called in a favor to get the charges dropped, which I don't think helps Jussie Smollett.
I definitely helps him. He's not going to prison.
So
his
this-
career was
Yeah.
over from day one.
Well, actually, the 16 counts are actually, so every time you lie to the cops, that's a count. But in fact, it's the same charge, right? So
Yeah.
in fact, a good lawyer would have said, look, these are 16 counts, but what the cops were so mad, he was giving them a runaround, so that they every time you lie to the cops, that would be what's considered obstruction of justice. So that's a count. The next count. The next count. But really, the entire lie, a lawyer would say, look, there's a whole lie here. It's one count.
one.
And usually one count, you'd pay fines and you wouldn't necessarily do jail time.
You would
So,
do something, especially convicted by a jury.
usually community service and a big fine.
Big fine.
yeah.
So his fine was 10 grand. This is the problem with the mayor goes, that doesn't cover a fucking
No,
30 minutes of the efforts we put in to get this shit done.
that's right.
I think that's problematic. I think the Cook County prosecutor, I would have to think, did not want to take the political risk of like just brushing this high profile, like internationally discussed case under the rug. That doesn't do anybody any good politically or otherwise. I don't understand. I can't imagine. It would be incredibly reckless if that's what happened here. But you have to realize that first time offender, like Callen said, like they obviously were overcharging him, and the Cook County prosecutor take a look at the case and say, this is what we should do here. This is how you. That's why they make plea bargains. That's how they
Also,
make
Chicago
deals.
has bigger fish to fry. Someone dies like every 3 seconds in the
He
South
still
Side.
should have. It still makes zero sense that all charges are dropped. It makes zero sense.
This is the biggest thing happening in Chicago right now. There are no problems greater.
Yeah.
Than
I
this
agree with
in
you
Chicago.
contextually.
I'm not that. I'm really not even that upset about it.
Well,
it's like
for
it's
me,
weird.
I didn't care about it much before, and I don't really find myself caring that much about it.
No,
Me neither.
I agree that
When he got off, went no.
I agree. Perspective is perspective, and I agree 100%. I just think that it does say something about our justice system. I don't like that.
Is anyone surprised that it's crooked?
You should
It's like when the college thing came out.
but
Like,
you should still be up in
really?
arms about it. So in other words,
But what are you going to do? B?
okay, so what you do is you voice your concern. Look, if you don't, and corruption, if you have a politician that can call in a favor, that degrades our justice system.
If that's what happened, I agree
And
with
you
that.
can't just say it's politics. You've got to go, that's outrageous. And obviously, one of the frustrating things is there's not much we can do.
That's what I'm going to say. What are you going to do?
Well, what you do is you voice your
Protest?
outrage,
Yeah,
and because it is, and if we have a justice system where it becomes an economy of influence, where who you know gets you off, which by the way is the case we do have a lot of corruption, but my God, if it gets to the point where we're Mexico,
I was going to say we're Mexico.
you're fucked.
Mexico's super
You're
fucked.
fucked.
Spoiler alert: we're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you
Yeah.
that.
But no, our justice system still works. But
Does it?
Well, let's talk about it. You know, that's
The rich and powerful are above the law, unequivocally.
Correct.
We used to pretend like that wasn't the case. We used to have people in power
not
who
above
would
the law.
still try. Absolutely.
But I do agree that if you're rich and powerful, you have a better chance of getting off. That's never been any different since the founding of the republic. However, the rich and powerful do go to jail. Like the Spectre and certain guys do get convicted.
as long as Aunt Becky goes to
No, we do
goes to
have,
Sing Sing, I'm cool
Yeah.
with that.
we do have a justice system that still remains to an extent impartial. You look at this whole college cheating scandal. They're in deep shit. It sucks, but you're still getting arrested. You're still having to answer charges. You still have to hire a lawyer. It's not like you just walk away. So in that sense, I think
I bet you they don't do any time.
Oh, I don't know if that they even should. I just think what happens is in the court of public opinion and everything else, you're dealing with a lot of shit. The FBI still has, to most people, it still has integrity as a federal institution. Mueller, that was a 2-year report. That was a 2-year fucking. I mean, are you kidding? Look at Manafort. He had a lot of money. Manafort's doing 7 years. There are people that went to jail who had a lot of power that were very close to the president.
Yeah, but Manafort had a lot of money from foreign.
I'm just saying that he is the rich and he's part of the rich and powerful.
That's the he was not quite the rich and powerful. He attached himself to the rich and powerful in an effort to absolve himself essentially of his debts and his sins.
Right.
And it didn't quite work out well for him. It worked out okay for the president so far, but we also haven't seen Mueller's report yet. We read a 4-page. That's what Monica Lewinsky's tweet was about today. It was pretty funny.
She's killing it lately.
She's hilarious.
What did she say?
So someone tweeted, she retweeted someone did tweeted something about, can you imagine if Ken Starr's report on the Bill Clinton investigation, instead of releasing the report, his attorney general put out a 4-page summary of it.
The Cliff Notes.
So imagine if the Starr report had been provided only to President Clinton's attorney general, Janet Reno, who then read it, Florida woman, by the way, who then read it privately and published a 4-page letter based on her private reading stating her conclusion that President Clinton committed no crimes. Monica Lewinsky retweets with, if fucking only.
That's great.
That's hilarious.
So good.
Well, you know why
That's
though? You know why the Justice Department doesn't give you the full report, right? Because a lot of this stuff is classified
Confidential.
information,
Yeah.
and you're compromising FBI sources and all kinds of stuff. So there's a process. There has to be a process here. What I think is interesting is after 2 years, there's no crime, there's no collusion,
No
and there's
crime.
no obstruction of
like
justice.
34 people were indicted. Some of whom had contacts with illicit contact with foreign governments that they then turned around and lied about instead of reporting it to the FBI that, hey, all these Russians
those people
are reaching out to us.
looking at jail time.
Yeah, and some of them are in jail. But what I'm saying is that is unequivocal collusion, and then lying about it. Some Russian foreign agent contacts you and says, hey, listen, we got the goods, or we want to get in with this Trump candidate. Or you know what an American does? You call the fucking FBI and you say, for some reason, Russians are hitting me up. I'm
Billy,
working.
It doesn't work that way. My dad
Totally
did
works that
business
way.
in Russia forever. What happens is this. you get a contract to work for a Russian company.
Yes.
And you're making money. And all of a sudden you have conversations, but you're also working for you're talking to these Russian contacts you've had, and now because they target you, and you're working for the campaign.
Yeah.
Now, if you're working for the campaign and you're still keeping your business going, that's a crime. That can be under certain circumstances, you can draw all kinds of conclusions. So this wasn't as cut and dry as it was. What I'm trying to say is that I never believed from day one. I'm not a Trump fan talking here at all. You know that. But from day one, I was like, what are we really talking about? Are we saying that Russia got Trump elected? Because that's hilarious to me. That's hilarious. Because no, they didn't. They didn't get Trump elected. The Democrats are the worst at putting up candidates. They suck. They put up Hillary Clinton, who in 2008, the country said, hey, fuckface, we don't like her. Let's put her back up again. They're even flirting with putting her back up again. So I'm sorry, but they're so fractured. Trump was just a juggernaut. He was a phenomenon. He was a guy who was speaking to a lot of disenfranchised people, blah, blah, blah. But the Russians didn't get fucking Donald Trump elected. He didn't fucking collude and go, get me elected. Excuse me? Come on. Do you think that?
I absolutely believe that, as in the case with Brexit.
You fucking liberal.
As in the case with Brexit, the influence that was exerted over not necessarily his campaign staff, but via the Russian bots and trolls and the social media targeting, there's no question that the misinformation that filtered through the election cycle and got in the front of the faces of people like our racist aunts and uncles who don't know the difference between the truth and a lie.
Do you think that Trump got elected because it was racist?
When you look at
is that what you're saying? Because I totally disagree with that.
When you look at the statistics of
the reason Trump got elected is because most Americans have $500 in the bank, dude. That's what. And then you had Hillary Clinton.
So this is the guy that's going to turn it all around.
Doesn't matter. That's what Americans. So you have. So the Democrats go.
Are they stupid or are they racist? Which is it?
Well,
a little column A, a little column B, maybe.
That's terribly condescending, because I'll tell you why.
Inaccurate.
You're a guy who has a family. You have $500 in the bank under 8 years of the Obama administration. Let's not blame Obama. There are 1,000 forces that go on with automation and everything else. Now, $500 in the bank. You can't send your kid to baseball or anything. That's all you give a fuck about as an American. Now we did vote a black president twice. So all those racists, a lot of those quote unquote racist or dum-dums voted for Obama. Now, hold on. My life didn't change. You got Hillary Clinton, who is Obama light or Obama heavy, whatever you want to say. You want me to vote for that guy again? My life didn't change.
She won the popular vote. She won the popular vote by an extraordinary margin.
What I'm saying is,
and who elected this president? A soccer stadium worth of people in 3 or 4 counties in a couple of states.
Well, that's the Electoral College, brother.
That's right.
Blame the way we elect people, but either way.
Well, I certainly do blame the way we elect people, but what I'm saying is, as a result of that, you can target people.
Yeah,
the proper demographics in the appropriate in the vulnerable
didn't
counties.
Get Trump elected. You got to put
when you have
Hillary ran a shitty campaign in comparison, or she's a shitty candidate. How about that? And they're going to put Elizabeth Warren and all the rest of those people.
I'm sorry. I don't disagree with you that she was not the ideal candidate. I will tell you that what the Democrats did was totally tone deaf. They counter-programmed. Is what they did.
That's right.
They counter-programmed. They said they're going to put this amateur, racist, misogynist con man up. We're going to put one of the most qualified candidates. Objectively, if you took the CV, the resume of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, you blacked out the names with a Sharpie on top, and you just reviewed the resumes.
Oh, great.
You'd go, who would be and you were hiring someone for your Fortune 500 company.
You'd go with Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so
100%.
So let's pause there then. Okay, put a pin in that. It is just like any coach that decides to go for it on 4th down. If it works, you're a genius.
Right.
If it fails, you get second guess forever. That's what the Democrats did. They said, we're going to counter program with clearly one of the most qualified. Barack Obama was what, a 2nd-term senator or first? He was totally unqualified, arguably.
Left no legislative or
academic
academic legacy at all.
And didn't prosecute I think if he had prosecuted some of the bankers who created the man-made catastrophe that was the Great Recession, I think Hillary would have had a far greater advantage.
But she was also the Russians didn't get Hillary to put that email server in her bathroom.
Yeah, the Russians also didn't get James Comey to needlessly put out that letter on the eve of the election, while Trump was actually busy paying off his former mistress.
He and I were talking, though. Trump was, you got to keep this in mind. He was fucking entertaining. Remember what he did to the entire Republican field. He fucking, we weren't even watching it.
He's entertaining in the way that crazy general riding the bomb and at the end of Dr. Strangelove is entertaining. That guy. That's how he's. But
I couldn't believe he got elected. I kept saying on this podcast.
He said he wasn't.
He's never going to get elected. It's impossible.
Oh no, I knew he was going to get elected. In fact, I was on a podcast with a bunch of brilliant minds down in Miami. Mark Caputo of Politico, Michael Grunwald, formerly of Time Magazine, now Politico. Fernanda Mondi. We're having this roundtable discussion the week before the election.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one who was like, I think this Trump thing is going to happen.
They all said no chance?
Some of them said no. Some of them were like, And then one of them was like unequivocally, it is actually statistically impossible. Oh, wow. And I was
That's
like,
what I thought.
Well, wait a second. I'm from Florida where anything's possible. And we actually, and here's the scary thing. The Florida of today is the America of tomorrow. So if you want to know what challenges we'll face or calamities will befall us as a nation in the years to come, you need only look at the canary in the coal mine.
Why is that? Because of the immigrant, the sort of experience of the melting pot that it is, or
Miami doesn't feel like a part of America.
Yeah.
I was just down there. It feels like
it's not. They say the great thing about Miami is it's so close to the United States.
It's insane.
See, I love it. I personally love that Latin shit.
No, but it's not.
I want to live there.
It's not just that.
Go live there.
Really?
Go live there.
I love it. I can't live anyplace else.
Yeah.
I can't live out here.
Well, they do
this
have
places.
there's some
heartbreaking.
those buildings. My friend's a developer down there. Those buildings,
it's all cocaine.
Money laundering now. So now it's money laundering.
Well, you've got the Porsche building where you have an elevator and your car comes up to your apartment.
Yeah.
And shit. There's all kinds of gaudy.
You know who that's for? Russians. We have a neighborhood called Sunny Isles, which is known as Little Moscow. And in Sunny Isles, we have these luxurious condos, including the Trump building. Oh. And what happens here is the Russians, we have what the Republicans would call, what you fucking conservatives would call anchor babies, where they bring pregnant Russian women over who pay tens of thousands of dollars. They buy real estate. They buy condos in the Trump building. They buy condos in Sunny Isles, Little Moscow, just north of Miami Beach. And they come and have their babies here, who are, of course, now American babies.
Those American babies.
Anchor
babies. They'll be American.
You'll never hear anything about this from the president. He never complains about them.
I like Russians.
He just looks at them as, these babies as future brides, I guess. But the what the fuck were we talking about? I came 2,000 miles away to talk about Jussie Smollett. God damn it!
Right.
So how do we get on such an irrelevant topic as the president?
You were saying that you think Jussie Smollett. You said Jussie Smollett's innocent, and that anybody who ever voted for Trump was a racist.
You said he was exonerated. No, but hang on. So I realized in the state of Florida that we had elected not once, but dose many. Our governor, the lead executive of the state, Rick Scott, who is, this is a fact, the biggest Medicare fraudster in the history of the United States of America. An absolute unequivocal con man, a fraudster, who pled the Fifth Amendment like 75 times in a videotaped deposition. And the video was there. The state saw it. Everybody knows about it to this day.
And they were like, it's okay?
We're good. He not only was reelected, served 2 full terms, term limited, 8 years as governor. He's now a United States senator for the state of Florida. So I was sitting there going, no, the Florida of today is the America of tomorrow. We've already elected our Donald Trump governor of Florida twice. I was like, this is totally going to happen. I was like, why would anybody think this is not going to happen? And sure as shit.
There you go.
It did. I was like, I stayed up all night, watching the results. I was like, I didn't watch the whole season of this dumb shit reality competition show to not watch the live results episode at the end. I was like, I'm in it to win it.
It was crazy.
It was a reality.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That night was, and then Hillary was going to concede, and then she didn't concede. I'm like, this is good television. As you said, it's just entertaining, right? Damn the Republic. I need good TV.
Let's go back to Smollett for a second. I got a question. Because you have your finger on this, Balls. Does he work again?
No.
He doesn't.
Where do you have your finger on Jussie Smollett? I'm sorry.
I'm not touching him.
You're not
touching him. So I don't think he works again. Not
he totally works again.
You think?
Really?
No, he's going to be on Dance with the Stars or some shit.
He'll
be on Dance with the Stars.
Podcaster. Would you have him on this podcast?
No.
Well, why not?
I don't think he.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't think he.
Like,
does,
what would we talk about? I do not care.
You just sing.
You're acting Empire. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what? What are you gonna talk about? He's not gonna be real. He's obviously a liar. So he's gonna come. And you know what? Actors don't work on this. They don't on podcasts.
They don't.
We have actors on before. They feel like they have to play a certain role. They're kind of, to be honest, they're kind of boring.
You ever eaten with one?
Yes, many of them.
It's one of my favorite lines from the producers about actors.
Was
You
it?
ever eaten with one? That's just it. That's the whole line.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
That's it.
I'm not even
There's
sure I know what it means,
You ever
but it's
eaten with one?
fucking hilarious. I mean,
that's so
you ever
funny.
eaten with one?
It's true.
It's true. You're just like, God damn, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
You know who was not like that? Martin Sheen. He was. I ate with Martin Sheen, and he was really interesting. Like he had some really strong points of view on stuff. I was like, damn, this guy's.
he's like the anti-James Woods. That
You know what he
guy.
said one time? So there's this movie called Guilty by Suspicion about the McCarthy era when
De Niro.
comics, actors and writers and directors and anybody who was suspected of being a communist. It was a little bit like there was a witch
What year?
hunt.
Give me
This
a
is in the
reference.
50s.
Okay.
This was 52, 53. It was a witch hunt. And so if you ever went to a communist meeting, if you had friends that were communists, they brought you up in front of the Committee for Un-American Activities.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
forget communist meeting. If you went to a friend's house,
Yes.
who was a communist, that was considered some sort of
Called
communist
McCarthy. So
gathering.
McCarthy was a senator from Wisconsin, and he was a quote unquote anti-communist, and he was going to root out communists from Hollywood and from certain academic institutions, but especially Hollywood. So people like David Merrill, who was a great director and like Academy Award winning or nominated or whatever, and they'd have him up there. And David Merrill went to communist meetings at people's houses and argued because he was a capitalist, and he was like, and he got kicked out of the meetings for arguing. But they said, give us names. Who were you with?
Name names. That was
And
the big thing.
he said, fuck them. I'm not doing it. And it's a famous thing where he goes, have you no decency, sir? Have you no decency to the Senator McCarthy? And so a lot of Hollywood writers, directors, and actors never worked again. And if you ever see Elia Kazan,
Wait, so are they fun to eat with? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was talking about. I'm making a larger point. This is a really big part of American
They were
history.
blacklisted, yeah.
Yeah.
And they never worked again. And so I said to Martin Sheen, I go,
Charlie Sheen's father, right?
yeah. And I said we were
Shout out to
doing
Charlie Sheen.
West Wing. And,
Emilio Estevez's father.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I was we were eating, and I said, we're talking about guilty by suspicion. I said, you never know how you're going to behave in that situation.
How long ago was this?
This was when I did West Wing, fucking 15 years ago. I don't know. And I go, you never know how you're going to behave in that situation. Because what they would say is, if you don't give us names, just tell us who was at the meeting. You don't even know these people, but you'll never work again.
Yeah.
So your agent would be like, Brendan, listen to me right now.
Yeah.
Fuckface. You got a TV show. It'll go away if you don't mention the name.
Yeah, no, I'm snitch on everyone in here.
That's the thing. You are.
Yeah.
And I said,
know
you
that
never
for a
know how
fact.
you're going to behave. And Martin Sheen goes, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And when you behave the right way or the wrong way, it's a confirmation on who you really are. And I never forgot that. I was like, when the pressure's on, that's who you fucking. Let's see who you are when it costs you something.
Whenever I think about Martin Sheen, I think about, did you ever see Hearts of Darkness, A Filmmaker's Apocalypse, the documentary that Eleanor Coppola made about it?
I haven't, man.
I just think
I'm
about
young.
him losing it in that mirror, breaking
He had a
that
heart
mirror.
attack in the middle of his scene.
Jesus Christ.
And like
He
just-
drank so much.
They're like, this is the best acting we've ever seen.
Dude, he drank so much.
James Woods
He had to be. He had to be
Yeah, James
he was a
level.
special forces guy who had to go back into the jungle in Vietnam, and he had to. He literally had bring up the opening scene of Apocalypse Now. He had to fucking. They had to have him going crazy. Like going crazy.
You talking about Brando?
I'm talking about Martin Sheen and Brando was in.
Brando's Kurtz. That's who he was
Yeah,
going.
Brando.
So check this out. So Martin Sheen in thing, he starts drinking and doing, I think, blow, and he was doing some pills. Anyway, long story short, he has a heart attack after he's done.
Is this the
doing
heart
scene.
attack?
Yes. Well, this is him doing. It's to Jim
This is
Morrison's
7
thing.
minutes, Chin.
Yeah. But either way, he's a guy losing his mind, and
he lost his mind.
Yeah, lost his mind.
Legit
Martin,
lost his mind.
So Brando gets there, the great Marlon Brando, and he's too fat, and he doesn't want them to shoot him from the
Yes,
neck
so no
down.
light, right?
Yeah, so like I don't want him
It's
to
always
see
in
how
the
fat
dark.
I am. And then he swallowed a bug in the middle of his thing. He didn't know his lines. He was all fucked up, man. All fucked up. This is the sin.
It'd be tough not to do drugs if that was kind of your role.
That's how I felt on election night.
It's kind of out of
Look
it.
at him. That's Charlie Sheen's dad. I mean, at one
Handsome
point,
dude, man.
I wanted to point the biggest fucking movie star in I guess I keep forgetting you're 36.
Yeah.
That's how old we are.
Yeah, he's older than me.
Yeah.
Real. He's still doing the damn. Cool. Oh no, I'm thinking of Michael Douglas's dad. Did you see him at the Oscars?
99,
they wheeled him out.
100 years old.
Yeah.
Kirk Douglas.
Kurt Douglas is Kurt Douglas Theater.
You know, he's a wrestler. I think he was like a high level wrestler too in college.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Not now.
No,
you told me he still doesn't wrestle.
He didn't wrestle by
at 99.
Kurt Douglas was the
senior league.
Bring up a picture of him in Spartacus.
Yeah.
Bring up Kurt Douglas.
Do they allow wheelchairs in the ring?
Yeah,
How does that? Is there ramps?
He was one of the original Hollywood tough guys. Look at him. Yeah.
And like one of the early like actor moguls, you know, had like his own production company, had his own like multi-picture deals.
Look at the divot. Look at the divot in his chin.
Yeah, in Culver City, there's the Kurt Douglas Theater there, right?
Yeah.
He built it with his bare goddamn hands.
He fucking looks like it, man. Just rich as shit.
Right.
There he is now, yeah.
Is that my grandma?
Yeah, Father Time.
Look at how long his
You know
ears.
what?
Father Time is like, he's had his face pulled back.
He had a great run, though.
Cruel
man.
bastard.
One of the best.
He had a great run.
One of the best.
I woke up
Hall of Famer.
the other day and I couldn't move. I must have
How
pulled
old are
something
you?
in my shoulder, 40. And
Not old.
someone said, well, what'd you do? I was like, I woke up.
Just
Like,
waking
full
up.
stop. Like I didn't lift a half gallon of milk or anything.
Yeah.
Or I just woke up.
Father
And
Time,
they're like,
dude.
oh, you must have slept funny. I was like, no.
You
I
might
wasn't
be,
like,
well, now you see why those baseball players do all that shit.
I would
Well,
totally
dude,
Think about it.
you might be
Totally.
the only athlete I've ever met, pro athlete, who just doesn't have any injuries. It's kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah, nothing yet.
you don't have any issues with
sure
your
it's coming.
knees. No, because
My left knee gets a little funky.
when I was in San Francisco with Tarek, one guy from the Detroit Lions and another guy who's about to go play pro, they were just enormous men. And they were 22, 23. And I'm coming off. And I said, what? And he goes, well, I've had both my shoulders redone.
Jesus.
I got 2 ACLs. I was like, I mean, they're literally Humpty Dumpty.
But they're huge. Are they huge?
Huge.
I'm not that big. Those
Yeah.
guys are huge.
You're pretty big.
Like
bud.
Great Danes have issues. I'm not that compared to those guys. You know,
Well,
I'm not a Great
You
Dane.
still played football for 20 years?
14 years at least. Yeah. for
Okay,
a
and
while.
then you fought in UFC. I mean, you'd think you'd have some.
But I'm not that big. Like if I'm around other UFC heavyweights, I'm not big.
right.
Around football players, not big.
How does that keep you from being injured?
Because I do like Great Danes. Like Great Danes always have fucking hip dysplasia. You know, I just think the big bodies break down.
But you're also getting hit a lot.
It's a strain. It's a strain of the weight. It's a strain of
Everything.
the body.
Yeah, the mass, the moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
More
a
to-
reason
more to
why.
break.
Your
There's
theory
more to
doesn't
break.
hold up.
It does though.
No, because
it does. Big guys always break first.
Yeah,
always.
absolutely.
That's why, like,
You're 6'4", 260, Bubba. You're a big guy.
but I'm big to you. In pro sports, I'm not big. I'm big to you as an actor.
Right.
In pro sports, I am not a
But
big
that
man.
wouldn't. I would think that if you were bigger, you'd have more padding and you could take more. But you don't have knee issues or anything. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, it's just the strain. It's the strain
It's
on the
all
body.
all the
Carrying
strain all
that
the
weight
time.
and that height. And
It's also getting hit.
Well, that doesn't help.
Right.
But that's why Rob Gronkowski, who retired, and I think most people should know this. No shit, man. The guy's had all those injuries. He's kind of done it all.
9 years.
He's young. He's just like, yeah, I'm out, man. Like my boy Kloffenstein, the main reason he retired, he was a first pick in the second round to the St. Louis Rams. And then he just kept getting injured. I was like, dude, I'm so sick of being hurt. I remember after a game in Detroit Lions, went to go see him play his first touchdown catch, and we had to help him walk up the stairs after. And I was just like, Jesus Christ!
I know a guy in Miami.
You could help him out.
Help him out.
Yeah,
Give him a protocol.
But you've been around enough athletes. You know, I've been an athlete where when I see the stuff with the HGH and them going to these clinics, like if people only had a hint of what those guys go through, everyone else would do it as well. Of
course.
Everyone.
Of course.
Well, everyone does. Like, you know, most of the people that go to these anti-aging clinics are not professional athletes. They're just lay people who want to sort of
feel good,
and they want to reverse the ravages of time. They're
Everyone
looking,
does, right?
I mean, that's what it is. The
I've heard
anti-aging.
good things about the cell stem cells are like all the athletes are really
And then, of course, what constitutes a performance-enhancing drug? Everything.
Correct.
Caffeine's a performance-enhancing drug.
Yep.
Amphetamines, Adderall. There's a disproportionate number of players that get waivers to be on Adderall. I say disproportionate, I mean to the general population
Why is
that's
that?
on Adderall.
Why are they
In
taking
baseball.
Adderall?
In baseball, you've got, 162 games in 180 days. It's the most grueling grueling schedule in professional sports. That's why you see him phone it in sometimes, because like you can't play. It's honestly, it's like when you perform for a living. If you're a Broadway, I got friends on Broadway. I'm like, I don't know how you sing your heart out and dance your heart out 8 times a week. They go, we don't. No. You got to cheat it.
It's like Justin Bieber, who just came out and like, "Hey man, since I was a kid, I've been touring. I've been on the road. I'm gonna take a break from music." Dude. And everyone goes, "What the fuck?" And he goes, "Towards the end of my tour, I was not giving you guys 100%. I was checked out."
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, that's bullshit, man. You got it easy." I'm like, "Oh, that poor kid."
Dude, do you remember
he
and I, when we do the road, you're on the road 3 days, 4 days. You're like, you can't wait to come home.
Can't wait.
Taylor Swift was on the road for 365 days. Basically, if she wasn't performing, she was traveling.
Terrible.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know. I really don't know how you do that. I would go fucking crazy. I'd go crazy.
Crazy. But also, you can see why people lean in towards supplements or PEDs, especially in baseball, hockey, football, and that. I mean, you're only 16 games, take it easy. But like the rest of the sports, you can see or actors or comedians.
Football,
on the road, I'm like, dude, I get it. When I was in Calgary, I had whatever 90 fucking shows. By the end of that last one, I was losing my voice. I'm like, dude, if someone had cocaine right now, I would snort all that up just to go hit this crowd.
And 1950s, Yankees, Mickey Mantle, Whitey Bulger, Billy Martin, they used to party at the Copacabana all night long, have to be up for 1 o'clock game, maybe a doubleheader. They were doing greenies. They were doing amphetamine. You gotta somehow make it through.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't know that I do either.
The MLB realized about in the 90s that they have all these people who study everything. They found guys who weighed less than 165. First of all, you don't hit as far, but also the other main reason was that they wanted bigger guys because they broke down. For whatever reason, when your body is a certain size, like 165, 170, and you're doing that over and over, they didn't hold up as well as the guys who are a natural 200-pound
frame. Fucking baseball monsters that they created out of steroids.
Yeah.
What a great time, though, with McGuire and Sammy Sosa.
Yeah,
that was so fun.
And they needed it. They needed it because the players' strike in 94, everybody thought that baseball would never rebound in terms of popularity. And they needed these baseball monsters smacking balls to Guantanamo Bay. Like that.
But now they blackball those guys who they gave the birth to.
Listen, baseball is like everything else in America and in politics.
Forgiven?
It's the WWE now. Okay. So the storyline in 2013 was Bud Selig is getting ready the commissioner of baseball is getting ready to retire. He is the steroid commissioner. Okay, everybody knows it. He knowingly exploited and profited from these monsters, like these dudes who literally we morphed them in the movie from like their original body weight when they were rookies to the weight to like Canseco and Mark McGuire and Sosa. It's ridiculous. So everybody knew what was happening, but nobody cared. It was good. It was good television.
It's also baseball.
They needed Alex to be the heel. That was the storyline that made sense.
Yeah.
Sealy goes to his second command. Rob Manfred says, this scandal just broke. Please make it look like I did something about
and this
steroids
is your documentary.
Baseball. Yeah, and so what scalp could be bigger than the highest paid baseball player of all time, Alex Rodriguez? So they went after Alex Rodriguez. Both sides spent millions of dollars, broke laws, went head to head in this battle of the legacies of Bud Selig versus Alex Rodriguez. They bust him. Yeah, they reduced his suspension, but it was still like the longest in history. It was an entire season by the time the smoke cleared. And then Selig retires, goes off into the sunset. Rob Manfred is second in command, who ran this whole ridiculous botched investigation, which includes quintessential Florida fuckery. He becomes the commissioner of Major League Baseball, and he goes, okay, what's the storyline now? If you're Vince McMahon, the best storyline is when the heel becomes the hero.
Yeah.
So now, what does he do? He brings in, for crying out loud, not only A-Rod, but Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose himself, to be commentators on Fox. And they were brilliant. They were so good.
A-Rod's so good.
And
Charlie Hustle, a little crazy. He goes on those tangents.
He's been banned from baseball again, as it turns out, a second time. He's gone. They fired him.
Oh, he's crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He's off.
And
but
Alex is there, and he is sensational.
He's the best they have.
He's sensational.
Oh my, he's so good.
He's so awesome good. Anyway. I never understood. New Yorkers love to hate him because they'd always say he chokes during the playoffs, and they'd be like fucking, with his blue lips and all. The guy's phenomenal. You ever seen him in person?
Club kid? What is he?
6'4", 230, handsome as shit.
I told you when I saw him in Vegas, I think I was with Rogan. We're eating at Strip Steakhouse in Vegas, and there's a whole table of us, and A-Rod's there with 2 girls. He's single at the time. He's there with 2 girls at the bar. And I go, oh, A-Rod was my favorite. I love A-Rod. And I go, oh shit, there's A-Rod. And the guys at the table, they go, oh man, fuck that guy. I'm like, what? The fuck? What, you butt-seat? What are you talking? What do you mean, fuck that guy? You know what he's done for this goddamn?
He's amazing.
Are you kidding me? This is one of the best baseball players to ever live.
He's an interesting character.
A little respect, like for that skill set.
He's an interesting character.
Fucking J-Lo, you moron.
He's also like his teammates like him. Like he's also well liked, isn't he? In the whole. I don't know.
He hasn't done his research.
He's not.
He's not.
Brian's just throwing out.
That's what's so. Well, that's what's so compelling about his second act right now is that he was always despised,
hated,
and so it's it's like so. This
wasn't that jealousy? Wasn't that just sort of like
yeah? He was a weird dude.
Yeah,
listen, you were talking about
get along.
Let me tell you, it's something.
Hey man. Stay in your lane though a little bit.
I am.
You got an expert here with all this stuff, and I know my shit.
He's so. You mentioned Justin Bieber. I think there's this theory. So in recovery, in the world of recovery, they say that your emotional growth is stunted at the age you start using. So the 12-year-old kid that goes into mom's medicine cabinet and starts, self-medicating pills, you can get older, but you're always like emotionally stunted. Yes. I think that's true of super famous people. Like Justin Bieber.
When you hit fame.
When you get that fucking famous and that rich,
Yep.
you are emotionally stunted at that age. Why? People stop telling you no.
Yeah.
People stop telling you the truth.
Well, and when world's not real. Yeah.
When you get lied to, when we are who we are from our failures, from people telling us no, from people setting boundaries.
Yeah.
When you don't have boundaries, you're Michael Jackson. You're
Michael Jackson.
You're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You're emotionally stunted at the age you became that famous and that rich. If you can't walk outside to buy a pack of gum. That's too famous.
Dude,
that's
think about Michael Jackson. He had to rent out supermarkets, hire actors, so he could pretend he was shopping to feel like a normal person.
Yeah.
You don't think you're gonna be fucked up in the head?
And Alex is that famous and that rich, and
Correct.
I think, and so he's like, I met him. He pitched us this documentary in November of 2013. That's why I'm here. That's why we did this.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It was his idea.
It was his idea. And I met him right in the thick of the arbitration with MLB.
He's a smart dude, man.
Right in the thick of the arbitration. Story broke in early 2013 in the Miami New Times. Biogenesis steroid scandal, right? And Alex was the only one of the players caught up in it who appealed his suspension. I guess he figured he had nothing to lose. He got the biggest, suspension. And so he decides, I'm going to go after it. So they go to arbitration. Everybody else gave up. Everybody else, even Ryan Braun, who lost his goddamn mind for a while in that whole scandal.
He left.
He just
One
said,
MVP, dipped out.
Fuck it. He's like, let me take my lumps and then I'll dip and
got paid though.
Yeah, he went crazy for a minute. Blamed like the tester for being anti-Semitic.
That was his problem.
It was
he
ugly.
threw them under the bus.
It was ugly.
Yeah.
And Alex, as it turns out, it's in the documentary. Alex threw him under the bus. Alex's camp leaked other names like Ryan Braun after the initial story came out to Yahoo in order to take some of the focus off of Alex in it. His whole team was, they were waging war, man. Oh, they were ruthless, dude. He hired Roy Black, the biggest criminal defense attorney in Miami. He got a PR team. He hired private investigators. There was money on the streets. This was a whole cottage industry.
This motherfucker fought back.
Oh, he fought back. Oh, this was OJ.
Yeah.
This was OJ versus the
Think about what he's fighting for, though. Like you would go to those extremes.
Absolutely. And he lied to everybody about everything always. That's what he did when we met. He just lied.
Alex did?
Yeah. But I mean, who could blame him? I mean, I'm a documentarian. People lie to me for a living.
Lied about his use of PEDs.
At this stage in his career. Lied about knowing Tony Bosch, the fake doctor who was who worked with Manny Ramirez and all these guys.
Has anyone really came out and admitted? Like, did you see the 30 for 30 on ESPN with Sammy Sosa?
No, I haven't seen it.
Have you seen the interview? They do the sit down and
I haven't.
The little troll who's interviewing him. He goes, I can't fucking stand that guy. But he sits down with Sammy Sosa and they're like friends. And he's in his home. And he goes, so Sammy, obviously you've done lotion to your face, and he's like kind of like poking him. And he goes, but you've done steroids. We can go this. And Sammy's like, and he's like trying not to answer, and he's like, I've never failed a steroid. I've never failed a test. All I know is I've never failed a test. And the guy keeps going, look, come on, dude. We all know you've. I've never failed a fucking test, man. So what do you want me to say? And he's like, yeah, but you've done PEDs. And he's like, I have, in his horrible, broken English, she's like, I have never failed a test. Like, what do you want from me? And he goes, we got to stop.
But that's like
walks
saying,
off, comes back. He goes, I don't know. He was like, I thought we were friends. I don't know why you're disrespecting me.
His skin, this whole weird thing with his skin is the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. How do you get yourself to be that color?
It fluctuates. It's like a mood ring. I think now he has a slightly different pigmentation.
But none of those guys, because of the tainted legacy, none of them really say they've actually done it, right, Billy? Like, like Barry Bonds, McGuire?
No one's really taken responsibility. Alex himself has never really done the mea culpa tour. He's never really.
Can I ask you this about so you did all the research? They found doctors. They found the guys who were giving the steroids out, who then named names. Is that what it was, or how?
Kind of. Well, see, here's the thing. This story is not actually about Alex Rodriguez. It's not about him. Don't tell him that. But it's not about him. The story is this Carl Hiaasen, Elmore Leonard, Coen Brothers-esque tale of Florida fuckery, of this botched heist movie. Here's the thing. The career of the highest paid baseball player in history effectively ended over a $4,000 debt between a cocaine-addicted fake doctor and his fake tan-addicted steroid patient.
Jesus Christ.
And
it just unraveled.
A-Rod and all these, they were collateral damage in this battle over $4,000, 4 weeks' time. This guy snapped, said, fuck this guy, this whistleblower, stole the documents from Tony Bosch's little like office park storefront office on US 1 right across from Alex Rodriguez Field at the University of Miami.
Tony Bosch was the guy secretly administering all these people.
Yeah, so Tony Bosch was the founder of Biogenesis and a series of other shady gray market clinics. So the anti-aging business exploded in Florida, like in the zeros.
Yes.
And appropriately so. The mythology is that Ponce de Leon, the Spanish explorer, discovered Florida on the search for the Fountain of Youth.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so
and whatever they're doing is working out.
It's working.
I was just in Miami. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
Spring break.
Dude.
Spring break forever.
Not a flat ass to be found, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope. Amazing.
So what's Bosch doing now?
He's off cocaine for 5 years, so that's good. That's a good start.
Has he got money?
He was hitting rock bottom at the time this scandal erupted. Went to federal prison for 2 years, in no small part, and deservedly so, because he administered some of this shit to kids. High school parents
athletes.
and coaches brought their kids to him to give them an advantage in the draft.
Again, that's not surprising to me.
Not surprising at all.
It's so hyper competitive.
You mean really? Those kids to get into college? You mean?
What, are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, forget college. They get drafted right from high school.
Yeah.
17 years old,
Right
go to the
away.
minors, and absolutely. So they're looking for every advantage, and there's smuggling rings that smuggle kids from Cuba and South America to the United States in order to pursue their baseball dreams.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's the American dream, is to get smuggled to the United States and do steroids.
When are you going to do college football?
Well, I did the U and the U part 2. I feel like
covered.
you mean like NCAA shit. You mean like the sketchy shit. You didn't really prepare for this.
Jesus
this
Christ.
at all.
People are unprofessional today.
I can't wait to watch this.
He started this interview with you say, do,
go,
say,
you go.
here,
Pitch documentary now.
You pitch documentary.
pod, do.
Screwball.
Then give us your political
wait to watch
views.
it.
So you get too much hate on the
Where-
internet.
Jussie Smollett.
To embarrass myself more, where does this come? Where do we see Screwball?
Screwball opens Friday, March 29th. That's this Friday. Well, baseball's opening day is Thursday, March 28th.
That's
So
right.
Wow.
Screwball opens in select theaters, 12 cities on Friday, March 29th, and next Friday, April 5th on the VOD machine. So iTunes, Amazon, pay-per-view, wherever you can get
Anywhere
video on
you
demand.
rent or-
Has A-Rod seen this?
I don't know. He and J-Lo are welcome to any screening they want, free of charge. Rob Manfred has to pay for a ticket, though.
That makes sense.
But they're welcome any screening. I don't expect to get a wedding invitation, but they're welcome to any of our
So
screenings.
it's not as flattering to A-Rod.
Well, the problem is it's the
fast.
truth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fast.
so it's not flattering, by the way, to anybody.
Right.
Nor should it be, though. That if there's no way you could do this documentary and paint them in a good the subject you're
The whole thing was a
talking about.
clusterfuck,
Yeah.
and everybody acted like children. That's why we have children
Yeah,
playing.
you know,
the
it's all
characters.
acted through children. It's all.
Should we show the trailer? Should we show you the trailer?
I'd like to see the trailer.
Show the trailer and my resume. Good. Where's my IMDb? Bring my IMDb.
You know his name's Billy, right?
Billy, the truth is, I didn't know you were going to be on the podcast until this morning.
Surprise!
Do you know that?
Surprise! I mean, we booked it 6 weeks ago, but yeah.
Yeah, I did not know. So no, I was
There's a
not
saying,
told.
never meet your heroes because they'll break your heart. From the moment I remember, I wanted to be a baseball player. It was the American dream. I got kicked off the team for smoking weed. It was a disaster. My plan was go into medicine.
Medicine.
School of Medical and Performing Arts.
What's sport about? It's about vanity and sex. It was a perfect place for the anti-aging movement.
Especially down here in Miami, everyone wants things now.
There's almost no regulations.
You'd have people who pretended to be doctors, giving all types of medical advice.
He had a white lab coat that said Dr. Tony Bosch. He had a stethoscope around his neck. Yeah, I assumed he was a doctor.
Yeah, you would.
So he wasn't a doctor.
Declined. Within weeks, his focus was much better. He felt a lot quicker. This guy says, yeah, my cousin's in the Yankees. It was A-Rod. He says, I want whatever Manny was taking. I had a true believer right away. 7 days after he started my program, he went ahead and in one game, he hit 3 home runs. And he said, I'll give you an extra $150,000 a year if you give me an exclusivity. I said, for 200, you got a deal. Listen, each home run costs money. At this time, Biogenesis had close to 300 athletes. We were consuming so much product, I had to go to the black market.
Okay, I just stumbled across some kind of steroid ring.
I didn't think I was gonna get caught. I was busy going to parties. My cocaine bill was $6,000 a month.
The biggest steroid scandal in sports history exploded over $4,000.
Yes, look, if I don't get my money, I'll blow this whole thing up.
What a bitch.
It was just
What a bitch.
an absolute clown show.
Get rid of steroids now. This is my whole life, my legacy. You tell me why I should serve one inning.
Tony Bosch is not a doctor. Tony Bosch is a drug dealer.
Coke addict, bad son, bad father, bad brother, bad everything.
What can you tell us about that?
No comment.
He's lucky he's not in the canal anywhere.
This guy's connected. A lot of people involved. Don't do this. You're gonna get killed. So I got my 9mm.
That guy's a mess.
Every sleazy thing Major League Baseball did in trying to pay witnesses, threatening people to cooperate, A-Rod and his crew were doing almost the exact same thing.
You pretty much can forget the Hall of Fame.
It was almost like, hey, Mom, I made it to the big leagues, but in a different way, You can't make this up.
That's incredible, dude. That's incredible.
It's wild.
I can't wait. I love it. I can't wait. I cannot wait. God. Bosch seems like what's he? Is he Italian? What is he?
Cuban.
Mix? Cuban.
Yeah, he's got his last name is actually no relation to Chris Bosch, Miami Heat, but his last name holds a lot of sway on the streets of Miami and the Cuban exile community. His dad's cousin, Orlando Bosch, was one of the most famous anti-Castro Cuban exile terrorists in history. Among his on his resume, he stood on the causeway connecting the city of Miami and Miami Beach, right by the port of Miami where all the cruise ships are, and he had a bazooka on his shoulder. This is in the late 70s, and he fired a missile at a Polish freighter because comunista, and fortunately, it didn't arm as it fired. It just hit the side of the freighter and rolled into the water.
Jesus Christ.
Did he do jail time for that?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, but he's a hero in the Miami, Cuban exile community. So it's just, it's that kind of story. Like that's little tidbits like that. And, and then of course, a bunch of kids running around in facial hair and lab coats and stethoscopes and
awesome.
Uniforms. And
I can't wait.
It's super creative the way you did it.
Yeah.
Here's what's hilarious to me too is, so we know all this stuff about Bosch. We know about the stuff with the NFL and the dude in Northern Cali. What's his name? The guy who got
the Balco guy.
All that.
Yeah.
But if people think that the PEDs and all that stuff isn't going on right now, there's another sort of.
Yeah,
of course. There's gonna be a whole nother thing after this.
And people say, like in Miami, like who's the new Tony Bosch? Like in Miami, like where do you go? Like I said, it's really easy to figure out. You drive around South Miami, Little Havana, Hialeah suburbs of Miami-Dade, and you look in like office parks, strip malls. You find like a nondescript place where it says like clinic on the outside of it, and like a mirrored or tinted window. Yeah. And a bunch of cop cars from different police departments parked in front of it, and that's
why the cop cars? Because they're watching.
No, they're clients. Tony Bosch had 100 cop clients.
It's usually how I pick my massagers. But
yeah,
I got to get on fucking
Robert
TRT,
Kraft,
bro.
too.
That's how I get my massage.
Dude, how about Robert Kraft, Palm
Florida.
Beach? Shout out to Palm Beach.
Jupiter, yeah. Jupiter
Palm
County.
Beach.
Yeah.
Robert Kraft getting jacked off out
I know.
there.
Sorry. He had to apologize.
Why'd they show the
Sorry.
video? Have you seen
Did they show the video?
Well, just him going in, then coming out like 3 minutes later.
That's quick.
Yeah, you mean the 90-year-old billionaire's getting jacked off by
How
the
about having
masseuses?
them come to your house?
But also, just be cool, man. Let them do that.
I agree with
the
you.
problem is, I think they're
let 'em
sex
do
slaves.
that.
But they're sex
You know the
slaves.
Patriots, they're always draining balls.
Hey, Billy,
Hey, man.
you're a bit of a fucking whistleblower.
Me? What the hell did I do?
Fucking subversive.
You're not really.
Communist.
Someone else does the whistle blowing, then he's like, you know what? That's a good story.
Yeah.
Let me get to the bottom of
there's
this.
a lot of whistleblowing, but enough about Robert
Have you ever
Kraft.
thought about doing like as you learn more? I mean, I'm there's so much pressure on me from people because I'm 52. They're like, get on TRT, man. What the fuck are you doing? I'm always like, all right,
Why?
I guess I could.
Depends
How you feeling?
feel, yeah.
How you feeling?
I said to my doctor, I said, what about all this? And he goes, how do you feel? I go, good. And he goes, yeah, okay.
I
There,
don't know
there
why
it
you
is.
would mess with it
That's
until
it.
you have
That's
a
why I'm
problem.
afraid.
You know what it is? You have absolutely, I told you this, because I just love your stand-up. You have the most physical stand-up show that I've like ever seen.
Yeah.
I get tired.
Now imagine that on steroids, though.
Right? Yeah.
Jesus,
Dude,
see?
we'd be
That's how you
scraping
sell
up
them.
the fucking roof with a shovel at the improv.
Yeah.
That's how
What
they
are you
sold
doing?
A-Rod. Then when you hit 30 home runs, imagine you on steroids.
the way I look at it is I have to shoot testosterone in my ass, and then I have to take an estrogen inhibitor maybe, and then you got to get your blood checked every 3 months. That's a lot of shit. I think I might just get old.
Then you have,
I wouldn't mind being fucking jacked though, dude.
Do it.
Right?
But then you're one of those like weird Harvey Levin like older dudes
That's the
who's like
problem.
jacked, and then people look at you like the same people who told
Harvey
you to get
looks
on
good.
and are like, "What did you do?
You're like, what
Why
the-
do you look
why's
like
your
that?
face all
You're
red?"
busting out of your clothes. You
Yeah.
can't even button your
Yeah,
buttons.
it's
What did
awkward.
And then I'm shaving my chest.
Then it's so awkward.
Yeah, you're
when
paint-
old guys get like
Yeah.
that, it's awkward.
You're
I don't wanna
painting
be
yourself
that guy.
Tampa orange like Hulk Hogan.
Tampa
It's like,
orange.
that
Tampa
Trumpian
orange.
you know what I
Tampa orange.
You know.
I do want to I'm going to have my eyes lifted, and I'm going to look great right here.
should do
Look, you
that.
fuckers.
What's the next story, Billy? Billy, where do you go from here? You got your,
I'm
your
gonna
finger
go
on
to
a pulse?
I'm gonna go to the clinic with Callen. We're
You
see
guys
what's
should
gonna
go
happen.
there. I'd pay money for you guys. to go.
TRT and stand-up
Go right to
comedy?
the
Yeah.
Orchid Day Spa in Jupiter and see what's going on. I'll get you.
I'd go to that spot, man.
Yeah, what is your next project? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, we just actually finished a doc that we premiered at the Miami Film Festival at the same time we did this one called Magic City Hustle. And this is about
The strip club?
Is
it?
No, it's not.
Oh,
but that would be that. I should. What are we sitting around here for?
Right.
I mean,
Dude.
So it's about, get this. So former University of Miami athletes got an email from the athletic department saying, if you are not doing anything, because a lot of former athletes don't have a lot going on, they're going to be tryouts for Magic City Casino to play highlight.
To play what?
Highlight.
Yeah, you don't know highlight?
No.
Oh.
Were you
Bring
not
up
prepared for
highlight.
this interview? What are you not?
What the fuck?
Bring up highlight. You got this game is crazy.
It's a Spanish game from the Basque region of Spain. It's basically handball with a curved wooden basket.
And they bet on
Dangerous,
it.
right?
They bet on it.
Yeah, the ball goes like 150
Yeah,
miles an
super
hour.
dangerous.
Super. They call it the world's fastest sport.
What year is this they sent that email, by the way?
Last year.
Oh, wow.
So here's the thing, and we followed them for the first season. Here's the thing. In Spain, this is like baseball or football or like
It's
the
huge.
kids. Well, the kids grow up; they're born with baskets.
It's like cricket
cestas
in
on their
India.
head. Right?
Huge.
But here, these guys have never heard of it. Some of these guys got the email. It's spelled Jaialai, highlight. So some guys are like, "What is Jalala? I'm gonna go play Jalala."
Yeah.
and they're like, "No, you don't even know how to
fair.
pronounce it."
That's fair to call it that.
So they were, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
they were recruiting them to play the game.
Because they're freak athletes out of Miami.
Oh, I see.
but they never played this game before.
Yeah.
They're just
And it's
hoping with their athletic abilities.
Really hard.
These guys suck.
Dude, they started February of 2018 training, and then they, on July 1st, ready or not, they were professional highlight players, and they were the worst highlight players in the world.
You can
And
imagine.
but it was like, but
a
also
different skill set.
in the history of the game, there's only been like 3 African American players in the history of the game. These guys came in, it was like Cool Runnings or something. It was like this really charming, almost like
But even harder.
Major League slap shot, like kind of like underdog story, and we followed them around for the whole first year. And here's the thing:
did they make any money?
A ton of money.
People make money. It's gambling.
A ton of money.
It's all gambling.
The athletes made money.
That's why we called it Magic City Hustle,
because
dude.
it's all gambling.
It's all gambling. It's a gambling sport.
Yeah, it's a
so
gambling
they don't
sport.
give a fuck that they're not very good if they're making money.
Now they have a lot of pride though. As former Hurricanes, like that swag.
You guys are used to losing lately.
So my buddy in Connecticut.
These guys are like 40 years old though. Kenny Kelly, baseball player. You remember Kenny Kelly, quarterback and professional baseball player.
Yeah.
Tanar Davis here.
Jesus Christ.
But here's the thing. Being in shape like that has nothing to do with your ability.
It's a skill set. Yeah, it's a different skill set.
It's just practice. Yeah, it's muscle memory.
How much money are these guys making?
So they were making. So first they had a salary. Fixed salary, but here's the thing: they got health care. Some of these guys have that health care.
Hell yeah.
Some of these guys are driving ice cream trucks. Some of them are driving Uber. One of them's a cop. This guy was a cop in Georgia. And so it's called Magic City Hustle because in Miami, you've heard of the gig economy. We call it the hustle economy, and nobody has one job. I mean, your side hustles have side hustles in Miami. They just released a study from the United Way a few weeks ago. 60%, that's 60% of Miami-Dade County residents cannot afford to make ends meet. Basic needs. And 40% of those are the working poor. So they have at least one job, and they can't afford just to live in the county.
That's a lot of the country. And that's why I was saying when Trump gets up and goes, hey, I'm going to bring back jobs.
That's why the Miami of today is the America of tomorrow. Yeah. And every single plant and manufacturing location he promised he'd save has basically closed since he campaigned in front of it and literally exploited those poor people.
But so
it's working
real quick. So how's your document? How's this end? These guys just stick with it. They love it.
Well, we followed them for a full season. We just followed them for a full season, and some of them get a little better. Not that they can compete against like legit guys who've been playing professionals who've been playing their whole lives. But listen, they got a base salary. They got medical and dental insurance, and then every game they played 8 games a day.
How long is a game? From
Wednesday to Sunday. That was like 1,500 games they played from July 1 to Thanksgiving.
So I have a question for you. My friend, who's now unfortunately dead of a brain tumor, but not Frank, but friend, me and Dove's friend, he was a mathematician, and he and his 3 friends used to go down to Connecticut, and huge in Connecticut, and they would go down and they would use their math to basically win at Highlight. I don't know how they did it. Do you know how they would do that?
Let me tell you.
And then the mob came up and said, and he said to me, he goes, this guy came up and he was smiling and he goes, so, hey, listen, you're going to have to find another place.
Because they know it's up.
Yeah. And
it's like counting cards.
But he goes, and finally he goes, I don't understand what you're saying. Do you not want us to play here? And he goes, you're not welcome here anymore. And they're like, oh, fuck, okay, no problem, thanks a lot. And
you get thrown out of Connecticut, you fucked
right
up.
away. But how would being a mathematician allow you to make money?
I don't pretend to understand this because I really fucked up on this project. I spent 5 months watching Highlight and didn't learn how to bet on it. Some of the guys on my crew did, and one of them made like $200-300 just on a $2 bet. It's so you bet like trifectas and numbers and you can and here it is notorious. This sport has a reputation for being notoriously corrupt.
Yeah.
And Miami Vice has a whole episode about it because it was huge in the 80s, this sport. Yeah. And so these guys are not good enough to be able to be corrupt, like to cheat at it. So the gamblers love this because like they said, oh, they're so bad. There's like transparency here. Hilarious. They can see them practice and they go, oh, this guy is okay. Yeah. This guy can't fucking catch this guy. So there's way, if you know how to do it, you can make money doing it. I have no idea how they did it. I really like these guys and some of them, I mean, it literally opens with one of them driving a ice cream truck through Liberty City, which is the neighborhood that Moonlight took place in, with an Uzi for protection.
Jesus Christ.
And ends with him doing pretty good.
That's cool.
I mean, it is cool. And,
so for them, I don't know if they love it, but at least it's a means to an end, I guess.
Dude, in 5 months, some of them made 6 figures. In 5 months. So between the 1,500 games, so for every game, these 8 games, every game, like the guy who came in number 1 got like 125, let's say, bonus. Second guy got 75, third guy got 50, fourth guy got 25. So just in accumulating those, just placing 1 through 4, you're getting a little money. Then at the end of the season, they gave out bonuses for whoever had the most wins. First, second, and third in singles, first, second, in doubles.
And is this league in America? I've never heard of this.
It's a casino. It's called Magic City Casino. It's by the airport. It's a locals casino. It's like all abuelos y abuelitas, 60, 70, 80-year-old Cuban folks just from the neighborhood, Little Havana. And
it'd be fun to go to.
Dude, they have live salsa band every Friday and Saturday. They're shaking their culos.
Are you still in Miami?
It's hilarious.
I'm coming down to Miami in May to do the improv.
Visit us.
Yeah.
Key lime pie on me.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. the new improv, the new Miami improv. I haven't been down there yet.
I just did it.
In Doral?
Great. Yeah, it's great.
Is it?
One of the best clubs.
So in Doral, where is Doral?
It's so new.
They call it Doralzuela.
Right outside.
Because it's all Venezuelan.
I stayed in Brickell. And
they put you up all the way in fucking Brickell?
I stayed at the Four Seasons, rich now. So I stayed at the Four Seasons, then would drive to Brickell.
Why didn't they put you up at the Trump Doral? It's right there.
Well, they want because you can stay there. There's a hotel over there.
Yeah, because Doral is way west.
How's the Trump Doral?
It's right. I don't know. I've never been.
It's way west.
I don't play. So it's right by the airport, basically. It's adjacent to the airport.
But it only took us like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, depending on the time of day.
From Brickell.
Yeah, depending on the time of day, it's not a bit. But certain times of day, it's rough. But if you've ever flown into Miami during the day, you've probably only flown in at night. You see Trump's name in big letters. That's the Trump Doral. Yes. His golf course is right there, just south of the.
Fucking staying there.
Yeah. You and Jimmy Woods can do the back nine. And so
that's nice. Look at that. Trump National Doral.
There you go. Let's see if they'll put you up over there.
I heard you can get good deals on Trump places right now.
Yeah, because nobody's staying there.
Well, guess what?
I wouldn't give a fuck.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
Penthouse for fucking half price.
A lot of times he doesn't even own his name. Those buildings he doesn't own.
There's a hotel in New York that I used to stay in all the time, the Lower East Side. The Kushner brothers just bought it. I will not stay there anymore. I don't care how cheap the rates are. Fuck that.
Trump's son-in-law.
Oh, the man in charge of our foreign policy and Middle Eastern policy. He'll bring peace.
That guy.
He'll bring peace.
All right.
Well, man,
how do you think he got into school? Ask Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
Ask Aunt Becky.
His dad's a criminal who donated millions of dollars to Harvard. How do you think Don Jr. got into Penn? His SAT scores?
Don studied.
How do you think Dr. Dre's daughter?
Dr. Pepper.
So the documentary drops this week, Friday. Yeah,
March 29th.
The day after opening day of MLB.
And then you know what happened a couple weeks ago? The distributor Greenwich Entertainment, they just released Free Solo that won the Oscar for best documentary.
Great documentary.
Yeah, so they dropped our trailer a couple weeks ago. Started to pick up steam. People were like, this is funny, sharing it, building some buzz. The next day, Instagram, A-Rod is on one knee putting a ring on J-Lo's finger. I wanted to text A-Rod's publicist and go, well played, dude.
Tight move.
Well played, bro. So I was just asked the other day, someone said, hey, do you think this is legit, this thing? Is this like a PR thing with J-Lo? And I have no reason to believe that. But they're like, oh, you think they're ever going to get married? I said, our movie comes out on Friday, March 29th. They'll get married on Saturday, March 30th, if history is any indicator.
Right.
Damn, man.
Well, I love it, man. And people can get it where again?
12 cities, New York, LA, I think Chicago, Miami, Boston, Orlando, because Florida, and then VOD next Friday, following Friday,
iTunes, all those places.
Amazon,
everywhere.
The Works, pay-per-view. Yeah.
Appreciate come on, man.
Anytime. Thanks for having me,
You do great stuff, brother. Thank you.
I'll see you in Miami.
Can't wait. Yes, sir. Well, there it is, Billy Corben.
Cocaine Cowboy.
Cocaine Cowboy. All that stuff.
I love Billy.
He's great. Fucking great. Always interesting.
Doesn't make a bad documentary.
That's right. I'm going to give my dates now.
Do that,
We'll
Brian.
sign out. Philadelphia, one show still has tickets. That's Late Show Thursday. Check it out. Calgary sold out. Adding a show Thursday. Late Show. Denver, April 25, 26, 27. Still tickets left. Comedy Works downtown. All tickets at tfatk.com.
Then you're in Miami with Billy.
May 9,
Billy's
10, and 11. At what is that place called? Just the Miami Improv? Mm-hmm. Miami Improv, May 10.
Great place.
Yeah, 9, 10.
Go see Brian's tickets. This week I'm in DC. All shows sold out. 20 tickets left on Thursday, though. Thursday's the only one not sold out. Phoenix, we are almost sold out as well. Phoenix, end of April, the 26th to the 27th. Get tickets now. tfatk.com for tickets.
Complicated Apes, still out there where you rent and buy. It's still doing well. Thank you to everybody. Complicated Apes.
Boom.
My special.
This is the Fun Kid. We're out.